also that we are going live.
Yeah, it's live. I mean, we are live now.
Okay, cool. We are live now. Hey, hi everyone. Hi Pritesh, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. And again, another episode of Open Mic. And I'm very excited about it. Very excited about Open Mic as always. And this is our third episode, isn't it?
Yes, this is third episode.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so let's go ahead with things like um, so what what do you do, Pritesh, at ReactPlay? I
Okay.
don't know, like if everybody knows or not. So it's better to kind of do an introduction of yourself, like what do you do?
Yeah. So my name is Pritesh for the people who don't know. And I'm a I'm a software engineer, and the tech stack that I majorly work on is front end and little bit of back end, not much that much, but yeah. I work on Angular, React, Next, everything. I like building projects. I would say building products. I recently launched my product named as Showcase Access. It is an extension. Hopefully, it worked well for me, and like I'll launch the Showcase Access on product hunt soon. And it was part of a hackathon, and we'll have a demo next 16. Hope it goes good. So I'm part of React Play as well. So I take care of social medias and events at React Play. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like this is what I do, and I belong to a mechanical background, and I'm a self-taught developer. So I also create content on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Showcase. As I also do technical writing on these platforms. So yeah,
So you're a
this is
busy man, man. Yeah, you're a
yeah.
busy man. You do a lot of stuff.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Okay, so
So
let's get going. Yeah,
just
yeah,
let's
Pritesh,
let's
go ahead.
talk about React Play. Like if you started React Play, what was the vision with which you started the React Play?
Yeah, yeah, of course, we can talk about that. And I have a specific talk today. I kept some time today on open mic to talk about React Play itself because every meetup I go and there is a question like what is React Play or what do you do there and how can we actually get started. So I thought, okay, why not put a small session on it, like to explain like how people can contribute. Maybe we can actually try to create something here and see if it
Mhm.
works out. So I'll talk more, but it is definitely an open source platform for developers to come join and do everything that as a developer that you are supposed to do. It's not only about coding, there are many other stuff that you're supposed to do. Definitely one of the thing we are doing today is the open mic, where we encourage developers to come and speak on stage. And so that if you have any stage fear, or if you ever have any kind of people fear, you can actually get rid of that, and we help you. And we have a tagline that we don't judge, we encourage. So call for everyone, like if you ever want to speak publicly and want your face to be seen by everyone, if you want to speak, this is a platform. We encourage you to come and subscribe, and then talk about it. I'm going to paste the form in a bit in the comment section so that you can actually get it and you can actually apply. So we'll talk more about React Play later. So before we get started, Pritesh, you told that you manage about the social side of it, right?
Yes.
Of React Play, and it's really a privilege working with you so far. What's in plan? If you can give some kind of insight to folks who are listening to us, will be listening to us later.
Yeah.
Maybe some people will be able to kind of reach out to you and participate.
Sure, sure. So as I said, I work on social and events side of the React Play. So what I basically do is I host Twitter Spaces. Hosting, as in I decide on to a topic and also find relevant speakers, and then we host it. So we do like 3 to 4 Twitter Spaces in a month on different topics like DevRel or open source, uh, and like freelancing and like different topic related to software engineering. Apart from that, we also host, as we see, we are right now on open mic, that is React Play Live. So this also I'm uh, taking a lead on hosting this as well. Also, the posts that you see on socials of React Play, it could be Twitter or LinkedIn. Now we are on Facebook as well, and Tapas manages a Facebook part of it. So all those posts and giveaways and events posts and everything, I only manage those posts on the socials of React Play. Recently, Ayush joined us as a community manager. Kudos, like shout out to Ayush for joining us as a community manager. Will hope to have a good time with Ayush here. We also have done the college events. Till now, we have done 1 and 2 in the pipeline. So what we do, we go in colleges and talk about React Play, talk about open source and everything related to software development, and help them to give a way through how they can crack into the tech world. So we have done this once, like in one college, and 2 are in the pipeline now. So yeah, even if you want us to come to your college and talk about open source or React or React Play or anything related to tech, feel free to reach out to us on our Discord, and we'll discuss about it. Also, we do collaborations. I take care of the collaboration part of it. As I said, we do giveaways and everything. Recently, we gave away the React Summit, that is the world's largest React conference that was happening, not in India. So we had a collaboration with that, and the next collaboration that we have is with React Nexus, which will be so the React Nexus is an event which will be in the Bangalore only. So the people who want to join the in-house conference, they can go ahead to go search React Nexus and go ahead and buy tickets for that. So this was a comprehensive guide of
Great.
what I do at React Play.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And anybody wants to kind of join Pritesh, as you see, like his hands are full. So if anybody wants to join him and take part, if you like to do social activities, if you like to do community building, please reach out. And open
Yes.
source is not only about coding. We know, like it's also about collaboration, a lot about collaboration. So you can definitely help us to get more people be aware of what they can do, and while they are doing good things, how they can actually help out communities. Okay, so we won't take much more time, Pritesh. I'll let you kind of get started with our speaker today. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So it's time to introduce Roshan here. So let me quickly invite him on the stream. Hi Roshan, how are you doing?
Hi Pritesh. Yeah,
Great to have you on board. Hope you'll enjoy speaking at React Play Live.
yeah,
And before I get started, if you want to share your screen, I can help you with that. You can quickly share your screen. You can introduce yourself, and then you can go ahead and start your talk.
yeah. I talk about myself along the way, so I start
Yeah.
sharing my screen first. So,
Okay.
is my screen visible now?
It should be. Will like Tapas. I hope it is visible, right?
It is. It is. Yeah, we can see.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for. Yeah. Yes, Roshan, the stage is all yours. You can go ahead and start your talk. Good luck.
Yeah. So I start with introduction of myself. So I'm Roshan Horo, and I'm currently living in my hometown, which is in Khuti and in Jharkhand state. So, talking about my profession, I worked as like a full stack developer. So, I like play around with some front end, maybe sometime back end, sometime databases, maybe deployment. So, I like all these fields, and yeah, so that's why I'm full stack, and I love reading other people's code. So, I also love open source. So, that's my introduction. So my topic is like scaling React app with design system. So people may ask what is design system? I heard about system design, which is completely different. So first of all, let's forget about what is design system. So let's start with very basic things like how we can add style to our React component. So methods of styling React component. So very basic inline style. So what it has like style attribute, and we add style properties on it like background color, red, color, white. Simple. So our next method is CSS style. We create files like uh, s- CSS style sheet files, and we add a style to a class name. Like here is a primary button, and we style like background color red, color white, and in our React component files we import it and using it as a class name primary button. So this is CSS style sheet. We also have a different like SAS, less, these things add to our CSS files. And yeah, CSS modules is another one. So comes in this CSS style sheet part. And Tailwind I add because it uses class name. So that's why. And the third one is CSS in JS. So some people may heard about it, but I give you a small example of a stitches is a CSS in JS. So what we import as a styled function, and we pass the type of element like button, and we uh, style add a style in an object like background color, and we return like my button as a single component, and we put click me there. So little different uh, from these two, but yeah. And other example of CSS in JS is emotion and style components. So let's talk brief about what style sheet or style file contains. So first of all, it contains layout, which like display, flex, display grid for making our layouts, and which and we also have like colors. We also have a typography like font size, font weight, all those things. Spacing rule like uh, padding, margin, and all those things. And animation, of course, we love animations. So let uh, develop an UI with all those things. So let's take an example of a very simple login form which has a email as an input, password as an input field, some checkboxes, and a button component. So these things are in a single component contains these things: select, checkbox, input, button. Now, what if means when we're developing a UI or screen in the component, so we imp- like style, and we styled coupled with each other means we add class names, or we did like class name from style sheet. These things are directly coupled with each other. So I talk about what's the problem with, but how we design like this is we are familiar with. We build the whole app with different screens, different UIs, and then we ship it. Then we are happy, our users are happy. So shipping is fun. So now we talk about the second application that we can develop. So in the application 2, we have similar UIs like authentication, dashboard, all these things have like common in these two app. Maybe the styling and uh, other things are different, but the U screens are like authentication are similar. So one thing I talk about is app one is built for a different application, means it has some different business requirement. maybe have different logo, maybe have different theme, and maybe some uh, other things we that are not common in both app 1 and app 2. And while we're developing app 2 from the previous, means we already developed app 1, and we need something from app 1 because it's common. So what we did is a 200 IQ thing, copy and paste. Yep. So app 2 is also means through minor changes from the UIs and screens, what we what that are different from app 2, like logos, we means built based on the business requirement or themes, different styles, and we also sip. So then we move to app 3, which has also a different business requirement and application based on the purpose. So we also did copy and paste, but we changed minor things like style sheet and other things. So it's like copy and paste is not a good solution for it. So let's talk about something what is uh, in the what the problem we are facing with these things. So code reusability, first thing. So in the code reusability, we just copy and paste and we just modify some of the things which are necessary to that app. And yeah, reusability not we are getting it from. And maintainability, we are maintaining all three apps. uh, but if something in app 1 breaks, or in app 2 something other things we need, so we have to maintain individually. So it's not a good thing. Accessibility, if you are following this open mic in the episode 1 of this open mic slok, a really good talk about accessibility and why it's needed. So accessibility, we have to also focus on these things. And yeah, developer experience, copy and push paste is easy, but when you modify these things and update each based on the purpose is not really cool. So these things are the problems we are facing. And let's think for a moment how we can optimize this process. So what uh, I have in mind is like, have you heard about lifting a state in React concepts? So how when we have to pass state from two or more component, we just lift the common state up to the closest parent. So think like this, the lifting state up, and we did similar but not actual real. So what we did is we picked all the common things and we put into the npm package, and we just import each of the applications and use it. So one thing is we just decoupled styles with these things. npm this npm package just only contains the core accessibilities and um, state and logic with that component. Example like dialog box or model, we can say we have like close button and we have a like model content, think like that. So one state and different UI, you can think dialog, select, checkboxes, and yeah, all others you can think of component. So problem with this approach is really a big problem. So adding these core packages are like abstracted from styling. So when we import and we then styled uh, each of the individual applications. So adding styling is like through React config. React config gives a like a design system kind of thing. So when we let's take an example of a React config. Here we can see that we can build it like design system. We can add colors to it. We can add font family to it, and we can add spacing. All these things in a single config. So we can use in our applications. So our UI will be consistent. So that's one way of think of styling as if you are in a like CSS in JS. I take an example of stitches. So it also has like create themes or create stitches. So we can mention all the colors, space, fonts, all those things in a single place, and we import in multiple with like CSS variable kind of thing. So our design are consistent with the a single primitive UI component like select, dialog boxes, avatar, and tooltip. All these things are like consistent in our UI. So these things are like how we uh, npm packages plus we add a style to it. So these things are like yeah. So it uh, done it it does it work. So let's take let's talk about the packages. So we have like npm packages which is abstracted from the application, and at npm package is unstyled accessibility and all these things built in. So what uh, if I build that npm package for an application and all those application, what if I could open source it and people around the world can contribute to it and maintain it, raise issues and fix these bugs? What if? What if I told you this npm package is already exist in? So Redux is a example of like that. So it has like unstyled, high quality, accessible components, and it has lots of components you can imagine. You can ever seen a component. If you find a bug into them, you can create an issue and contribute to it. So it's like open source. Reach UI is also a similar example of that, maintained by all around the world. And yeah, these two are I know about, and you can find other also. So a look about reach UI. And let's talk about an organization. So organizations has different products under it. So what organizations can do is you can tightly coupled with style, and you can build a component library, and your developers will directly import it and uh, create an application with that. Developers don't have to add styling because you directly coupled with and make a component library, and it's all consistent throughout your design system. So component library is very helpful for an organizations, saves lots of time, and it is really fast for developing an applications. So if you talk about examples of design system and component libraries, recently there is a new component library. I don't say component library, but you can configure it easily. So I talk about SADCN UI. I don't know how to pronunciate it, but it builds with Redux and Tailwind CS. Redux is for the component, and we can style with Tailwind CSS. And yeah, you get all these components consistent with your application. So check out SADCN, and it is really cool, and their APIs is composition type. It is really easy and yeah, good. Second is Vercel. Vercel is like a kind of like big, which is based on a Geast design system. Under the hood, Geast also uses Radix, which for their components, and Vercel adding some extra layer of CSS into it, so it makes really good UI. So these are like uh, design system examples, and you also like we also have like fully featured design system that you can import, like talk about React Bootstrap and Chakra UI. I heard of them, but never you. But lots of people use it. So these things are fully component library. So you don't. It gives you to change styling, but it is really difficult to add a style with that. So yeah, last, I give you a little summary when to use like design system fully featured and when to use like config based design system. So for the small to medium applications, and you like configured all your mm, UI tokens in a Tailwind config file or a CSS in JS, create themes like, and you just add like primary colors, CSS variable kind of things. So I recommend Tailwind, Tailwind config and create themes like for small to medium. For a startup which has like longer vision or a big organizations, so like they already built design system with component library, so their developers don't even think of like styling for a moment and how to configure it. Different developers maybe configure different styling, so they just coupled with the component Radix and Radix or Reach UI and build a component library. And yep, for a design system, like if you think for a start for building a design system, if you think for a smaller point of view, like for a small application, you can see it is really means time consuming, and it takes lot of energy or even a cost money for building these things. But uh, for a like big organization, I would say it's a really good investment for their applications. So that's my summary for this. And yeah, thank you for uh, giving this opportunity to talk in open mic. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Roshan, for giving this insights on design system. Even I would say big organizations like Flipkart. I've been to Flipkart and I had a talk uh, from someone from Flipkart had a you know talk in the Flipkart itself, and they said they also have their own design system. They have a framework team itself who manages the entire uh, this design system and stuff, and that does help a lot of because they don't have to redo the work again and again. They have a different small applications and stuff. Yeah, so really useful talk, Roshan. Thanks for coming on React Play and sharing this knowledge with us. The quick question for you from audience is: if we have to create a React project, what type of layout we should go with? Rex or Grid? Okay, okay. So yes.
Means it is really kind of depends on how how is your means design or UI should. So I follow a simple rule of thumb. If we like a single dimension, like so we have like one after another, so one layer kind of things. So I've built with flex because it is really easy to single line, and just for a mobile breakpoints, just flip the flex direction and and it works for mobile. For grid, think like an square box, like a chess box kind of thing. So if you have like UI with mm, bigger boxes which has smaller components into it, so I rather prefer grid into that, because it suppose like uh, square box with smaller boxes, bigger screens have larger number of columns for and we decrease the width of the screen sizes with just down the number of columns one by one, so it works flawlessly with the grid. So I like this rule of thumb.
Thank you for the answer, Roshan. Like, yeah, people are appreciating the talk that you gave, and it was a really good talk because you explained really nicely. You showed like there is a package manager. You started with very basic, that
Yeah,
is the styling, and then you went like, okay, this is what the discussion was, and so you gave a good context overall of the entire talk. Tapas, do you have any questions for Roshan or something?
No, no specific question. I was just carefully listening to him because there are a lot of insights in his talk, and what I liked is he didn't really took a lot of time to convey a lot of messages. Right, it is very crisp and very thought out. Is on a topic like that, sometimes people might take say 40 minutes, 50 minutes, just going deeper, deeper, and things like that. But he touched all these levels and made sure like he is also finishing on time and delivering the complete talk. So great job, Roshan. And
yeah,
thanks for coming on open mic and delivering the talk. And it keeps saying like it is not just one of event what you can think of. If you want to talk again in the next week, the floor is open. Okay,
yeah,
so thanks a lot. And please stay back because and also watch the comment section, because in case there are questions for you, you can actually take it, you can respond that in the comment section itself.
yeah. I can share the link of the slide. So any
Yes. So
folks you want to
yeah, please share
look
the
around.
links of the yeah, please share the link in the comment section. And anyway, Pritesh also will take the PPT link so that he can share with everyone later as well.
Yeah,
Yep. Thanks, Tapat. Thanks, Pritesh.
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for. Cool. Next, we have Tapas on our React Play Live. So the OG himself is on the floor now. We'll be talking about React Play. So I was, waiting for this session to happen because of the questions that we always get, right? What is React Play? How can we do it and stuff? Recently, we went to React this JS config, so there also we got a lot of question related to what React Play is. So now let's answer the question, Tapas, like what React Play is, and
Okay.
stage is all yours, and I'll go back. Good luck.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I have a small presentation, and part of the slide I have already kind of shown in one of the conference sometime back. It happened
Mhm.
with Learn with Sumit in Bangladesh. So I have modified the same slide, but with the context of today's talk. So today's talk is about React Play, what's for you, and as you said, like we get a lot of questions, and though we have built a documentation site very recently which has all the answer, but people are hardly go for the documentation site. But I strongly encourage you to go to documentation site, because we have spent a lot of effort in building that, and you will find bugs, you will find issues to even to make sure that we are having right information. Okay, so what is React Play? It's basically it's an open source application or a platform to start with React, but it can takes you to your full stack development. Okay, that's the vision right now. And how it started, it basically started as a hobby project. When I was teaching React on my YouTube channel, I needed a platform where people can actually, who were learning from my YouTube channel, they can come and start posting their project through whatever they are learning, and a single place where I can actually go start looking into their projects and see like how they are doing a code review. So that was the original idea of it. But it seems that there are a lot of people who started contributing that time, and I felt like it is a perfect project for us to kind of make it open source and also talk to few friends of mine who are like experienced developer in the field that I am right now. They can come and start doing code reviews, along with me. So it means that the project is about where you can learn, create, and share React.js projects, and with the developer community, and it helps you to learn from expert code review processes. So if you have never taken part in React Play by committing a project, you can actually take part. I strongly encourage you to kind of do that. I hope that answers this question. This is a definition that we keep for React Play. But gradually, what happened in last 5 to 6 months, as I'm seeing, is like more people who are coming and contributing. They wants to go towards understanding how API works, how things works in the backend side of it. So React Play itself is a platform where you can actually traverse from the front end till the back end. It means that from the React.js code or from the CSS code or the Next.js code till the database, like Postgre, Hasura, and things like that, you can actually do all of the stuff if you are really willing to. Um, and I explained like why it was required. Like we have been kind of reading the blogs, we are watching videos, we are somebody is teaching, and then we are actually following them and try to ask the question, is it the right way that we are actually delivering? And then sometime we feel like, okay, maybe the right way, may not be the right way. So how about kind of we fix the problem through the code review process and all. This is our GitHub site. You can go at github.com/reactplay. Please check it out. You can actually take these things. um, you can go to reactplay.io and check it out. Like there are a bunch of projects that you will be able to see. You will be able to see like what people have built, what is the story behind it. You click on the project, you can see everything over there. So I leave it to you. And Pritesh, if you're hearing, just put those links in the comment section so that people will be able to kind of grab that, where React Play is. Okay, so little bit to talk about this architecture at a very high level. I mean, it's not exactly an architecture diagram, it's rather a technology stack diagram that I'll say. So the left side of it is mostly showing about what is the client side stuff. The right side is showing about what probably the server side stuff. So our entire client code base is on Netlify, and our server side is actually on nhost as a database as a service, and the client side is built on React.js. But we have multiple projects that are actually kind of giving us the functionality for client side. React Play by itself as a framework is built on React.js. On top of that, people are creating their React.js projects, but we have other projects like our documentation projects is built on Doxers, or we have an events page which is built on Next.js. So there are a bunch of different kind of technologies that there are. Our analytics is built on Umami. So different kind of technologies that come and actually satisfy the need that what we actually looking for. And right side, the thing that you are seeing in the screen is like is our backend portion of it, where it is by nhost, where we have a file storage, S3 file storage, where you can actually upload images. If you want to build certain gallery feature and all, tomorrow we can easily do that. We have GraphQL endpoints through which you can actually connect to our Postgre databases. We have inbuilt user management, authentication, authorizations, serverless functions, everything been taken care. So with this picture, you can imagine is like if you are somebody who is willing to contribute and learn in any of this technology stack, it's for you, and we are going to help you. That's the big thing. We are not only an open source project, we are an open source community lying there on Discord, over 1000 folks over there, and the community is distributed with multiple roles. So people will be definitely jumping in, give you a get start, and then probably handhold you for some time, and then you kind of start building, and folks are building things right that way, that I'm going to talk about in a bit. Okay, so move on. So the community is at our heart. I know we just don't want to kind of keep doing things and without forgetting like where exactly it is going, what is the end goal. So for example, today if we are talking about open mic, we are doing open mic things. The end goal is enabling developers to come and do public speaking, because developers are not just for doing coding. If you're just doing coding, you probably will be just doing coding and one day you'll be unnoticed. The thing that you need to actually pick up is like do something extra, do the next thing, and then do the next thing. It could be content creation, it could be being part of a community, taking active part in that, or maybe public speaking, whatever suits you, whatever you want to do. So If there is any desire for you to do public speaking, yeah, open mic is the place where you can actually come and fulfill that. So like that, our community is at our heart. These are some of the stats. I'm not going too deep, but like the GitHub stars, or wherever our community is kind of there, total community member, you can see that the community is kind of growing, and we want it to grow more because we want to do more. We want to serve more for the developer community and the open source world, of course. This is just the social media stats, not much to talk about it. Okay, so what are the things that we keep doing that you should know? Apart from enabling people to do React.js projects, or enabling people to understand full stack, I'm really a person who talks about full stack a lot. You would have heard me talking about our social media. So ReactPlay is a project where I can handhold and take people through the full stack journey if you are ready, right? So apart from doing all this technical stuff, we also do things like community catch up. So if you're on Discord, we do community catch up. Now we have a community manager who will be taking care of this one, of how soon we can do this catch up and things like that. Then we have Twitter spaces that Pritesh already mentioned, like bi-weekly. We can actually we do that Twitter space. It also encourages you to do public speaking. We have do 2 hackathons. We are now planning the third one. I'm in discussion with few sponsors, like how to execute this hackathon. It will be a global hackathon, so anybody can participate, anybody can enjoy, and anybody can win kind of hackathon that you're going to do. And then, thanks to some of our past event sponsor, our event partners. And then the open mic, we spoke enough, so I'm not going to speak much about it. And then we have also our newsletter launched a couple of weeks back. The next issue probably going very soon. Kaushal is hearing that from the community. So again, here we also need hands. Like if you're someone who is in the content creation, please go ahead and come to our Discord and talk to Kaushal. He'll be able to kind of help you out. He also needs helping hand, so it will be really good thing. We have our newsletter right now. Please subscribe to that. Okay, and the college things that Pritesh already spoke, and we are going to do more for sure. And if you think that in your colleges we can actually go and do something, please reach out to us. We'll be very happy to do that. For the freelancing stuff, this is something that I'm exploring right now with my connections and other stuff. So I have posted one freelancing job sometime back from our company, and that worked out well. And we could plug in one of our member to this freelancing job, and the person is working for next 4 months. There is a paid 3 to 4 months. It will be like it's a paid job. And then there are a few more that are kind of coming in pipeline that we'll be posting. So if you're on Discord, there's a jobs channel. You can actually stay tuned to that. Now, after telling everything, is like the main section that I want to talk about, like what's for you. As you know, the ReactPlay and his vision is about encouraging you to kind of do things technically, at the same time also explore all other aspects of being a good developer, right? So if I'm hiring someone as a developer, the person is very good in technical aspects, but there is a behavioral issue, or there is something like maybe the person doesn't value all other aspects of software engineering, or don't know like the part of SDLC. It is really hard for me to comprehend that how this person is going to scale, even if he is good in technical aspects, right? So people, when they're interviewing, they also look for attributes like the soft skill attributes, like how they actually communicate, like how they collaborate with people. So open source is probably one of the platform where you don't meet people or don't see people at the daily basis, but you still have to collaborate with them and get your work done. So if you survive in here, I mean, if you are collaborating, if you are conversing, and if you're contributing, I think you have a really strong edge over anything else, because this is an environment where you have owned this environment. So everywhere else you'll be very well glued to work, work great way. So what's for you in this community? The community is for both coders and not coders, right? So definitely you can come and create a play means you can create a project at any point of time. We have a great documentation created now. Just follow the documentation, create project, we'll review your project, give you feedback, make sure that your project is live. Right now also there are certain things I'm reviewing, and thanks to people for having enough patience with me, and taking care of the review comments, which is really great. So please create a play, which will be a really good thing to do. Otherwise, kind of build features. Come to our GitHub, look into our issues. There are multiple projects. You can pick up issues. You can actually fix them. Um, you can give a feature request. You can build feature. There are people who are building features already. Some people are stuck somewhere. Some people need help, and some of these features are really end to end. I mean, they touch all the layers. So if you think that you are good in Tailwind, okay, give your hands, or you're good in database, give your hands, right? So let's collaborate. Let's create something which other people will be using tomorrow, and you will be a creator for this one. So it's a good thing for the community as well. So you can actually create features. You can do fixes. I told, like, we are both code or no code. You can actually work on making our analytics better. We have some basic analytics to, like, who is accessing what page, from where they're accessing, so that we'll be making this analytics. Some way we'll use them to build something in future. But right now we want to get the data correct. So if you are someone of analytics mind, please come and knock us. We'll kind of get you all the possible access for you to build things. Of course, documentation, I spoke about it. We have done a great work. The folks from community kind of came in and they built this one. I'm very happy to see this documentation now up and running. Maybe we'll have a translated version of this documentation in future in other languages, and so that people can connect to it very easily. But we have lots other things to do in this documentation. So if you are not coder, or if you don't want to code contribution, if you want to do no code contribution, reach out to us. We have documentation backlogs. We can connect it to you, and you can actually start creating this documentation. That itself is a huge contribution to open source, because you will be solving somebody's problem tomorrow who is looking for certain information on how to get started with our platform, right? So please, documentation is one thing. We have a blog. I know people keeps publishing things on ReactPlay blog. So if you're a writer, I really, really want you to write for us. And of course, we don't pay you because we are non-profit, but we'll make sure that you have enough reach as a writer. We'll kind of publish, republish, share everywhere on social media, making sure that your article gets good reach. If you are a blogger, please reach out. And of course, we are looking for localizing React Play. We want to localize React Play in multiple different languages. So if you're interested, please, you can actually do that. And the localization, the translation stuff. Now I'm going to talk about upcoming features, and this is where I think you can do a lot. And some of these features are in progress, uh, but still huge scope for you to kind of come and do your open source contributions. And anytime, please reach out to me, say that, hey, this feature looks good, please tell me more about it and how I can get started. I'll be more than happy to get on a call with you and make sure that you get started. So some features, we are actually building a user testimonials now. It's in testing phase now, almost done. The first phase of testimonials, where anybody can come in, authenticate to React Play, and we'll be able to post a testimonial, a feedback about what we are doing, how we are doing things. So I've heard a lot of good things about, people are talking about React Play over last 1 year on Twitter and all, but it's good. It will be good to kind of have them in the platform itself, so anybody can come in and they can actually see, like, okay, this event went well, and there is a testimonial. This is where probably we can do something, any kind of testimonial that they wanted to kind of put in. So we are building this feature. Hopefully we'll roll it out sometime next week, by end of next week, with all the testings and code review. Then we are building a user profile page, which is very interesting. Like, as a contributor, if you are contributing to React Play, you should be able to share that with world, right? Whether the contribution can be by creating a play, or just by making a single commit, or you have written an article on React Play blog, or you have done the documentation change or documentation fixes. So your contribution towards open source must be called out, and you should be able to share that. So for that, we are building one user profile page where everything kind of gets collated. So you have taken part in some hackathon, great. You have owned a badge. We give digital badges for hackathon, right? The badge will be added. The certificate that you want to kind of give for even the past hackathons, the certificate you can download from your profile page, and you can use the profile page like one of your another place where you can actually talk about, okay, this is the open source contributions that I have made for this platform. So you're building this profile page is about, I'll say, like 60% done. Still 40% work is pending. Maybe a good time if somebody wants to kind of contribute, please come in and contribute. We are building a dynamic event page. So right now, if you go to reactplay.io, there is an events button. If you click on that, it will show you all the events that we do. But that page is pretty static right now, and the data it serves is pretty static. We want to build this dynamically. For example, we want to get the data into DB, things get persisted, we don't handle things on the client side. So this work is kind of going on right now. Is it is kind of, there are a lot of work pending over there, and this is something which is like full stack, I'll say. Like, it's like end to end. You need authentication some places to fetch things, say from YouTube, and then you need to do UI, you have to do database schema design, you have to write GraphQL queries, GraphQL mutations, all the aspects of it, all the stages of it. So if you're interested, this is another project that is undergoing. So these three are undergoing, and then we want to bring in few more features. One feature, this is, I have tentatively named this, called ReactPlay Dare. So daring is like, it's like challenging something, right? So ReactPlay Dare is something we'll be building, where as a developer you can come and challenge yourself, like how good developer you are, or how good way you know React.js, how good way you know JavaScript, how good way you know Next.js, how good way you know GraphQL. Challenge yourself and win the challenge. And once you win the challenge, your certification for winning the challenge gets added to your user profile page. So now not only your contribution, but you also can tell the world, hey, I have this skill and I've tested my skill on this platform. And then you go to any of the projects that people have created. Let's say there's a project that somebody has created with React use context hook, right? So when you're reading this particular project, it will ask you, the system will ask you, hey, do you want to take a test of use context? Okay, let me take a test of use context, and I'll be able to kind of give answer. And it will validate like whatever you are learning is also with some kind of programmatic aspects. So we want to build this ReactPlay Dare. There are some thoughts around it. We might get started very soon with this. This is a very much in a kind of idea base. If you want to join hands, even from now, from the design phase itself, you're very much welcome. It will be an interesting piece to build, where people will be able to even code within ReactPlay. So there is a challenge. They'll be able to build things within ReactPlay. They'll be able to solve things within ReactPlay. So that's how we want to envision. We want to get a job portal. So for example, we are doing stuff on Discord, and Discord is a bit messy, chatty. There are a lot of things that comes in, goes away. Right now the jobs channel works, but I'm not very satisfied with it, and even people are not very satisfied with it. So we want to create a job portal, where we can actually post jobs, legitimate jobs, like mostly towards the freelancing. That's what I want to focus on. It's not like permanent jobs and things like that, because there are a lot of demand for people to kind of do freelancing. So we want to kind of enable that freelancing path, where legitimate freelancing opportunities people post, and then you can apply, and if all works out, then you can actually work directly with the party. So that's something that we the backend we are working. I mean, backend is not the code backend, the backend in the formalities and all other stuff. Once those things are kind of settled, we want to bring it on ReactPlay as a feature, so that people can start doing stuff. That's all about the feature. And we are of course hiring the volunteer roles. So there are multiple roles that we are hiring for. You can actually see, is and each of this role demands you to kind of be little bit more than regular coder. So this is like coder plus plus, right? So if you want to do code reviews, it means that have to know like how the code structure works, what is the standards that we should maintain in the code, how to write how to write good code, what is bad code, how to give feedback to somebody. If somebody is not listening to your feedback, how to go about closing that conversation loop. You have to know all these aspects of it. So it's more than just coding, right? Similarly, for growth and partners, for example, you are very good in communicating with companies and things like that, and tell them, hey, if you want to sponsor a hackathon with ReactPlay, this is the opportunity and this is the platform is about. Yeah, please, if you're good at that, you can actually do that. Social and events, I think Pritesh spoke about it already. Community managers, we have one, Ayush, who just took this role, but he will need help. So if you want to kind of make our community vibrant, please reach out to Ayush Thakur. He will help you out. Doc, I told we need a lot of things, and UX and graphics is an area is like I wish that we have somebody who is like complete dedicated, who is doing a lot of UX and graphics work, because the features that I told, the two couple of features that we'll be building, it require a lot of UI work, and we need a lot of UX and the graphics side of it. And the last but not the least is about dev enablement, which is like a big role. This role actually help out everybody on React Play community to solve their problem. They post something on needs help channel, we want them to be solved as soon as possible. So right now, one or two members are doing this. We want more members to join and help each other. Their job is just to kind of look at the issue, try to give a solution. If you don't know the solution, is fine, but if you know the solution, just to give the solution. So if you are interested in any of these roles, please reach out to me. I'll make sure that I will get you onboarded on this role. You might have a question like, how much I need to know about it to kind of get started with this role. That you can leave it to me, maybe, to judge like how much you are there. But if you have interest in doing that, please reach out. I'll talk to you, and if I find like, okay, this is something that we both can have a win-win situation, I will definitely get you started. But if that's not the case, I'll give you feedback and I'll tell you like, you work on this feedback and come back, we'll get started with this role. So that's easy it is. Okay, so please reach out if you really want to do any of this. That's it. If you have a scanner, you can scan this so that you get all the React Play contacts on your fingertip, and you can actually browse everything possible. So that's all about me. I actually conveyed everything possible, that what is React Play and what you can do about it. If anybody have any questions, I can actually take it up. Please feel free to put that in the comment section so that I can actually take that question. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take it up. Otherwise, really expect people to kind of think about it and come back maybe in future, like if they have questions. Yes, Pritesh, what do you?
So thanks for giving the brief on what React Play is. Some of things were new to me as well as a member. So first of all, the structure, the architecture that you explained, the front end and back end, that was really helpful. I guess we'll put that somewhere in the documentation as well, the structure, so the
Mm.
people who are new to this, can understand the structure first, and then the way they want to contribute to. It was a very helpful guide. Like, I guess people will be interested in learning a lot from this open source project that we have, and it is recommended for everyone to do this, because if you see job posts these days, everyone wants production ready people. Okay, so this is a place for you to become production ready. Okay, so
Yep.
building private projects is good, it's not a bad thing, but for you to understand how organization work, this is the best platform. You can go ahead, and this is React Play is an organization itself. Okay, so this is how you'll be working in near future. If you join any organization, you'll have a backend, you have a architecture, you have a code review, you have a GitHub, someone will review, and this is the process that you'll follow. And if you know this, if you contribute to this, you'll know these things, and you'll be ahead of lot of other candidates in the queue. So
Cool.
hope people will understand this, and go ahead and contribute to open source soon.
All right. Yeah, I also enjoyed a lot, talking into
Yeah,
to this session. So okay, so I think we can actually do a wrap, and we'll see again in the upcoming session of open mic, and hoping to see a lot more people, willing to kind of speak in open mic, and we'll definitely encourage them to kind of do the speaking stuff. Right. Okay.
sure thing, sure. Cool. Thank you so much, Tapas, and thank you so much, Roshan, for joining in for the React Play Live. We'll have our next live in next 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
right? 2 weeks, right? So we are open for nominations. So Tapas has already dropped the link in the chat. We'll again reshare that link on our socials for this like nomination. You can fill up the Google form, and you can get chance to be on stage on React Play Live. Hoping
Yep.
you are the. Oh, this is for all the listeners who are listening to this. I want to see you all here on the stage, and yeah, let's break the barriers of public speaking. And uh, yeah, cool. See you all soon.
Cool. Thank you. Bye
Goodbye, everyone.
bye.
Bye.